time to catch up. I feel like we are due a little chit chat sesh. I have just stuff to talk about, things that have been going on, and I heard from you guys some questions you were wanting answered. So I figured we would get ready together today and catch up as we do every month. I will link last month's coffee chat. Get ready with me if you want to see it. I have so enjoyed getting ready with Bioderma. And I had some questions if you're supposed to rinse it off. It says non-rinse on it, just FYI. So I do want to thank today's video sponsor, which is Quince. I have to say I'm very excited to be working with them again. They asked after the last video we worked together if I'd be interested to do it again quickly after, and I was like, yes. So I'm excited to show you guys some new pieces to try on, show you some more things that they offer, and tell you a little bit more about the brand. So as I said, thanks to Quince for sponsoring this part of the video. So if you haven't heard of this brand, I had heard of it for a very long time, and I had so many screenshots of products I was interested in from this brand saved in my camera roll. So I was very excited to work with them. One thing I really appreciate about the brand is that they are a lot more sustainable, and on top of that, their clothing is built to last. Like, these are some of the most well-made pieces of clothing I own. So everything you're about to see me try on and share with you from the brand, I will have linked in order with my sizing information and like kind of recommendations of if I think you should size up, size down, if it's true to size. All of that will be in the description box and in a pinned comment for you. I'll also link a couple of my favorites from the last time I worked with Quince, which was like last month, because I do have a lot of favorites from that too. So if you're just kind of interested, one of their biggest claims to fame is definitely their cashmere line, and they just launched a new and improved cashmere line, and it is so nice. So right now I'm wearing their classic bestseller, their $50 cashmere sweater. They have a bunch of different colors. I picked it out in this maroon color. I love how well made it is. When you look at these articles of clothing up close, they are so well made. I actually also have this in the lighter, like the ivory color, and they have a few other colors. I can see why this is one of their best sellers. It's got just a classic fit. It hits right at the hip. It's not too tight, but not too loose. Like, it really does check all of the boxes. So I see why this one is so popular, because I love it as well. Love this color so much. This is another part of their cashmere line. So it's 100% cashmere, but I love the little bit of a split neck detail with the collar. It fits very similarly to that $50 cashmere sweater I just showed you. Hits at the hip, it's not too tight, not too loose, it's comfy. And the other thing I appreciate about both of these is that they're not overly hot. You know what I mean? They're not overly itchy, they're not overly hot. So it really is perfect for your actual colder weather life where you're not outside the whole time. Like, sometimes you're inside in the heat and you don't want to be sweating. So I love these sweaters for that. I don't think I've ever had such a nice silky shirt as this one. I feel like it fits really well. It looks really dressy, but it also, I feel like you could pair it with a sweater on top, or like even a sweater vest if you're crazy, you know what I mean, if you're into that. And it could look really cute. And then I paired this with this silky skirt. I feel like this is really cute with some boots, but also pairing this with some tights or even fleece line tights and some even warmer boots and a sweater would be such a cute date night outfit in the winter. You could wear it to work. This is so lightweight and comfy, and I have to say, I have wider hips and it's really elastic, and you don't have to pull it super far up to be comfortable. Like, it's sitting right there. It doesn't feel too tight. Like, I'm really surprised at how well this is fitting me, I guess is my point, because I struggle a lot with skirts. So loving both of these pieces. And not necessarily correct with this shirt, but I wanted to try it on for you. This jean jacket is a true classic fit. Like, this feels like a jean jacket from the 80s or early 90s. It's comfy. It's not overly, like, what's the word for that? It's just easier to move in. It's not overly rigid. That's the word I'm looking for. The sleeve actually hits. A lot of the ones I've owned in the past, the sleeve is like here. And so then when I raise my arms, it like goes up farther. This actually hits my wrist. I just feel like it's so cute. It'd be really cute with a long flowy dress in the fall or the spring especially. Like, that is my jam. Okay, this black dress is one of the most well-fitted, flattering dresses. I honestly bought this because I really don't have a go-to kind of more comfortable black dress for any of those kinds of occasions, whether it's a date night, as sad as it is, a funeral, like anything where you might need a black dress more at a moment's notice especially. I feel like it's just good to have in your closet. And this one is so comfortable. It's modest. Like, this is exactly what I was looking for. This is so exciting. And again, I feel like I could jazz it up with like a sparkly sweater if I wanted. I'm 85 years old. You know what I mean? I would totally rock a sparkly sweater. What am I talking about? Anyway, wow, this is amazing. And I love that it's so stretchy here in the center. Amazing. Even though I know it doesn't go with the dress, again, just to show you, oh my gosh, my new winter coat. So I have like a longer one, and they do sell long puffer coats if you're into that, but I've been wanting a shorter one for those days where it's cold, but I don't need like the full body protection. Like, I was always wearing my long puffer when I lived in Chicago, and also when I was a teacher and I had recess duty. Like, but in most of my life, I don't necessarily need it to be super long. This is so perfect. It is so warm. I love this right here. This is a part of the coat. When I put it on, I was like, oh, it has a thumb hole. It can really keep you warm. See how it's like connected there to the actual coat? That is genius. So I am astounded. Again, I just love this kind of like ivory color. The hood is really nice. It's got good deep pockets. Oh my gosh. Yeah, this is very exciting for me. So if you are interested in anything I just tried on, or you're just interested in checking out the brand Quince, I will link every single product I just tried on for you, including all of my sizing information, etc., down in the description box at the top, also in a pinned comment if that's easier for you to find. Highly recommend it. I love how sustainable they are. I love how well made they are. I really think you guys, if you poke around their site, you're going to find a lot of things you want. And again, they've got the free shipping on any order. Doesn't matter the price. And they have that 365-day return window. So I just think that is amazing. Thank you again so much to Quince for, again, continuing to support my channel and sponsoring this video. Oh, Pinocchio. I don't know. Oh, you can't see him. Pinocchio's here with me today. He's being extra cute. He always, like, once a year, hurts his leg in some way. When he gets the zoomies, he'll, like, run into the stairs. And we're like, Pinocchio. So he's hobbly today, but I think he's going to be much better. You're wagging your tail. Anyway, so cheers. What are you drinking today? I just got coffee. Feel scatterbrained as usual, you know. Let's start with the question I got asked the most. What book am I reading right now? I love that so many of you guys love to read too. It makes me so happy that that was genuinely the most asked question. So I am actually currently trying to very quickly read a book called The House Across the Lake. It's one, I'll pop the cover on the screen. I am sure you've seen this cover. I feel like, this is a very done cover, as in, I feel like this is how many of these kind of, not true crime, but like crime, what do you call it? Thriller's not right. Anyway, this kind of book, like mystery book, they all have this kind of cover, you know? But anyway, we are reading it in my little book club I do with some girlfriends, but I was thinking the book club meeting was next week and it's like in 2 days. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm only like 40% of the way through. So I'm like, I think I'm gonna get a very long leisurely bubble bath tonight when the girls are asleep. And I'm just gonna try to read as much as I can. Then Tyler had the idea. He was like, why don't you do the audiobook too? So you could kind of be not like any little 5-minute drive here or there. I could knock out some more of it. And I got all excited. And then I realized it's not available for like 8 weeks. And I'm like, do I wanna buy it? I think not. So anyway, I'm just gonna do my best. I was talking to one of my girlfriends that's a part of it though this morning, and she was like, yeah, I still need to finish it too. I'm like, all right, that makes me feel better. I just feel like this season is flying by already. And we tried to pick a scarier book for this season. I'm trying to think of when you're seeing this video. It's right around Halloween, maybe slightly after. We're gonna this is that Physicians Formula Butter Glow highlighter. And I'm just gonna kind of put it in the area, kind of like I do with the e.l.f. stuff, you know what I mean? Oh, got it in my eye. How did I even do that? Just in like the areas I would want to be glowy. And now I'm just a mess. Oh, here, just use that. There we go. That's using the old noggin. It's definitely glowy. There's no doubt about that. Sarah asked, what season do you think you are? I'm dying to know. I'm thinking summer or spring. So, of course, she's referencing like getting your color analysis done and having an idea of what colors look best on you. And not just colors, but like versions of a color, like a warmer one or a more neutral one or a cooler one. And like there's such a literal spectrum. So I have no idea. When I tell you guys, I'll watch those videos. I love seeing it. Like people will drape the color over it. You can just tell when it just looks like their face is just like so bright and like popping. But then I think about myself, I'm like, I have no idea. I know what kinds of colors I feel like I look good in. Like I feel like I look good in like emerald green and like deep teals. I feel like I look pretty good in maroon, like a more vibrant maroon though. What else do I look good in? I feel like I look okay in like a burnt orange, which like a tan burnt orange. So I don't know which is that, right? I don't know. I really don't. I kind of looked into if I could find a place near me that does that. But I've also, don't you feel like you've seen some people get their color analysis done and they land on what they think? And I'm like, is that the best though? I feel like the other ones were better. So it's just one of those things too, where it almost feels like it's in the eye of the beholder. What a sweet question. Diana asked, what's a daily habit you do with your kids that fills your heart with love? I was gonna mix those. How am I gonna do this? Every single night without fail, I mean, unless it's a crazy night, but you know what I mean. Generally every single night, we read books to the kids. So like, depending on which one I'm laying down that night, because we kind of trade off. And that makes me so happy. And both of the girls love books. They love to read. Like it is a part, if we skip it, they're not happy. Like, and usually we're skipping it because we're like, you are so tired, you just need to go to bed, you know? But it makes me so happy because a lot of the books I'm reading to them are ones I loved when I was younger, or they were ones I loved when I was a teacher, or they're ones we've discovered with them that we all like as a family, they're family favorite kids books. And so I don't know, it's just such a tender, gentle thing to do with them. It calms them down, but it's time with them. Even if you've had a day where maybe you weren't able to be as attentive to them because you guys were running errands with them or, you know, whatever the day entailed. I feel like that is such a great way to end the day with them where we're together, it's quiet, it's a good bonding activity. So yeah, that's something I've always loved and I will always do. And every once in a while, you know, like in the middle of the day, they'll want to read books. And I'm like, yes, let's do it. Because it's something that I personally enjoy. So yeah, that is something I really, really like. And we definitely do daily. I ended up mixing the House Labs foundation, which I love, and my Misha BB cream, which I love, just to get kind of a tone. I feel like it was a little bit better. It is looking really bright, isn't it? I filmed it. I'm filming just from a different angle today just to switch it up. It's looking really bright, isn't it? Let me try to turn it down. Hold on. Part of it is because I actually have the help of Windows today, but that's a little bit better. Anyway, okay. You going back in your bed, buddy boy? He's a handsome prince. We have gotten nowhere in my makeup process. It's all right. Susiana asked, if you guys could move anywhere in the world, where would you move and why? Love that question. We probably wouldn't, but if we had to, because we've even joked like, okay, if we were billionaires, where would we move? And we both have kind of decided we just wouldn't. I mean, sure, if we had billions of dollars, we might build a ginormous mansion. I don't know. You know what I mean? But beyond that, we wouldn't move. All of our families here, we love where we live. We love all four seasons. But if we were like forced to move somewhere, assuming I would stick around in the US, I would probably go somewhere in New England. Like Newport, Rhode Island is where my brother was stationed for a while, and we visited him a few years in a row. And it was like, and it was always during the fall, you guys. Newport, Rhode Island in the fall. Are you kidding me? That's actually where they filmed a decent amount of Hocus Pocus 2. And we would always, like when we'd visit, we'd do day trips. Like we did a day trip, I think, out to Salem. Just anyway, I love the area because you can drive a couple hours and go to so many different places. But then you're also near the coast. So in the summer, you've got that. The fall is beautiful. Of course, you've got like rough winters. I know some of you guys are from New England. And you're like, you don't want to live here in the winter. I know, but it's just, I think it is such a romantic area of our country. And so that's a place that both Tyler and I would probably go get our donkeys and then go live out in Rhode Island. And if we were billionaires, we could actually afford to live in Newport. It's a very expensive city. I don't know, where would you guys move? Would you just move to another country? I mean, maybe actually, now that I'm thinking about it, like, that does sound kind of nice. Yeah, I don't know. Where would you guys move? I'm so curious. And why? Like, what is your reasoning for where you would move if you could live anywhere? This is the essence. Make me brow. I'm really saying this aloud for myself because inevitably I'll link what I'm using below and I'm not going to talk about it a bunch in this video. So I'm like, I won't remember what I'm using. And it's so, I'll try to play detective when I'm watching back these clips. I'm like, what am I using? What is that? Gotten pretty good at it, I will say. Are you doing a Bible study right now? No. And you know what? I got a few questions about like spirituality, religion-wise, like how everything's going. And I definitely am finding that I'm craving something outside of like going to church on Sundays to kind of throughout the week keep close to God. And I think that's like a common struggle for anyone that is seeking that. And I was doing a weekly Bible study, but they like, as far as I could tell, they like stopped doing the date and time that worked really well for me. And so I really haven't found a replacement, but I need to prioritize that because I am finding that I'm missing it. I always joked that I was the youngest person there by a long shot because everyone there was like retired. And then there was me. I loved my lady friends. But yeah, so we'll see. I definitely am craving that. So I need to prioritize it and maybe just find a different one somewhere else to give a try. But I've also been reading, I'm trying to read a Bible in a year, which will end up probably being 2 years. That's okay. But I've never read through the entire Bible, right? And I was using which Bible app is it? I'm doing like a plan on one of the apps. It's just the Holy Bible. It's the YouVersion app called the Holy Bible. Anyway, I'm doing one in chronological order. So it's not necessarily in book order of the Bible, although some of it is, but it actually goes in order of time. And I love this because it really helps put in perspective like where certain things occur, especially as you get farther into the Bible. So yeah, I just finished the first 5 books of the Bible. I did that face because there is it is like straight up Game of Thrones. Like if you have never read the first 5 books of the Bible, it is wild. It is a wild ride. Anyway, so we're moving through. I'm currently in like Joshua, where does that actually fall in the Bible? I don't know if you guys are curious about this or not, but because I'm doing it chronologically, I'm really missing the New Testament stuff. You know what I mean? Because that's the stuff that really sparks something in me. And so some plans that are out there you can do, like it'll do a bit of the Old Testament and a bit of the New Testament, and usually a bit of like Psalms every single day. So you're kind of getting all of that. So I'm like, maybe I switch, but then I'll be all messed up because I already did. I'm not rereading the first 5 books of the Bible now, so. Okay, so Joshua comes after the first 5 books anyway. So far it is just an order. At one point, I want to say like midway through Genesis, parts of maybe the book of Job, was that it? Like, I don't know. Somewhere in there, Job was like a part of it. So that was just so interesting to know that book would have happened way earlier on. Anyway, so a lot of questions asking, will Tyler be posting on his channel again soon? Yes. He has been working on the Egypt trip from a year ago, those vlogs. If you've ever seen any of his recent stuff, like he is some of you guys are laughing because you know how long anyway. It's an if you know, you know situation. I'm not going down that rabbit hole. My point is, he has been working on the Egypt vlogs. They're going to be done soon. So those at some point will go up and they are going to be beautiful. He will not let me see them. But anyway, until it's like time. We have Disney vlogs coming up soon. Those will probably go up before the Egypt stuff anyway. Actually, as I'm saying it, they might be up. Their first 1 or 2 from that last trip might be up now. So that leads me to the thing I got a lot of questions about. Well, okay, I got like 1. But it was something I wanted to talk about because I had explained it on Instagram, but I never really got a chance to explain it here. So on the chance you don't follow me over there, if you want to, on my stories all the time, it's Jessica Braun, Braun over there. Anyway, so yeah, we drove to Disney. You saw our road trip prep vlog went live like afterwards. I mean, we'd pre-filmed all that, of course. Anyway, but we'd driven down to Disney and like 2 days into being there, or like the timeline is hazy, but it took us 2 days to drive there. We took a break halfway through. It was a 14-hour drive with the girls. And when we got there, like the next day, we'd heard like there was this storm coming through. And if you recall, Hurricane Milton went like overnight from like a category 1 or 2 to a category 5, like that. And so then suddenly they're like, okay, people need to evacuate certain areas, blah, blah, blah. Well, we were in Orlando, which is in the middle of the state. So it's not on the coast that was going to be hit, but undoubtedly it would be hit with wind and rain, right? And probably damaging winds if it were as strong as they were thinking it was going to be. So we were like, okay, we're going to pack up and go. Like we were staying in the cabins they have there. And that is, we already knew this, historically, a place that Disney evacuates anytime there's a big, strong storm like that, just because of the way the cabins and the campground is set up. There's tall trees, it's prone to flooding. Like, it is just not a place you want to be during something like that. So we were like, well, we drove down, we have our car, let's drive back. So as we're like going through that day, thinking through like, all right, do we leave tonight? Like, are we going to pack? Like, thinking through all the logistics, we're talking to different cast members, and across the board, every single person we talked to said, you should just stay in Disney. You're safe here. And a lot of people brought up points I wouldn't have ever thought of, because we don't live in like a hurricane area where we've ever had to evacuate. We live in the Midwest in Indiana. So a lot of them brought up, one, if you evacuate, you're taking up a lot of room and making more traffic for people that actually need to evacuate from the coast. Because that area was undoubtedly getting slammed, like it was scary, you know, etc. Then the other thing was, there was already like no gas anywhere from what we've been told. And I'd mentioned in my Instagram story that I wondered if there was like, if that wasn't totally true. I'm like, maybe we should have just left. But then a lot of you guys DM'd to say, no, you live down there, and there was like no gas anywhere. So again, we were terrified that we would be like, okay, let's pack up and leave, get caught trying to evacuate, stuck in traffic with our 2 very young kids with no gas. Like, it just, to us, we were basically having to choose between 2 crummy decisions. You know what I mean? Like, neither decision was perfect, but Disney, the deciding factor was hearing those 2 things about the traffic and gas and thinking, well, we don't want to do that to someone that actually is in a very dangerous spot. Like, we're in theory pretty safe where we were, very far inland. So Disney alerted everyone in the cabins that they were evacuating them as we predicted, and they would basically put us into another Disney hotel that wasn't at the campgrounds. So they moved us to Coronado Springs. It worked out well. We packed up our car, we drove over there, got into the room, made sure we had like enough snacks and food for the girls, enough water and coffee, and we were just kind of in until the storm passed. Stayed in our hotel room, and then after the storm and everything had passed, the parks were still closed, but they had like, we were hungry. I mean, like, we'd just been eating snacks in our room. So they had the quick service restaurant open, so we went over there and ate some lunch, or I don't remember what it was. Maybe it was breakfast again, like a late breakfast. Anyway, point is, all was well. We were safe, and slowly but surely things kind of opened back up within the next couple of days and got more back to normal. So we vlogged the normal times. You'll get to see those vlogs. Like I said, I think the first 1 or 2 is up there. We didn't vlog much during the storm because, again, I mean, it was scary for us too, and we weren't in the mindset to do it. Like, we didn't really. So I'm not sure how much you'll see of that. We did get some clips of like cool things Disney was doing in the lobby. Like, they had, because Coronado Springs has convention space. I don't know how interested in this you guys are. I don't know. And I'm realizing I'm not getting ready. Because Coronado Springs has convention space, once the storm was gone and things were slowly opening back up, like later into that afternoon, evening, they had movies playing in one of the conference rooms, and they had coloring pages for the kids, board games, like, it was so sweet. And, you know, for kids, like, the girls didn't know what was going on. We weren't trying to scare them and freak them out, so we were keeping calm and not really sharing what was going on. They just had a ball. They had Mickey and Minnie at one point walk around. If you ever look into like Disney's ride out crew, it's a whole thing that you can be a part of, and a lot of you guys have taught me about it in messages. But it's really special because they made the kids that were hunkering down there feel comfortable and calm, and it felt kind of normal to them, so they weren't like, you know what I mean? So I just thought that was really, really sweet. So we might show some of those clips we got once the storm had passed. We'll see. But that's the story on that. We were there maybe another day or 2, and then we headed home as was planned. And there you go. More information on that than you probably ever wanted to know. But we'd mentioned we've donated to some hurricane relief, not only there, but also from Hurricane Helene, because it's just so sad. And there's still stuff going on. There's still people that don't have homes. And so consider, if you're watching this and thinking about it, donating as well if you feel inclined, because they need so much help. And yeah, lots of questions about Sephora sale recommendations. That video is coming up very soon. I feel like right now, because we're going into holiday, They have so many gift sets that are already a good deal and then stack a % off on top of it. You know what I mean? So it's a very exciting time, I think. So many of you guys are so kind. Cassandra said, no cues, just appreciate you and your videos. Hope y'all are doing well. Thank you. And I also got a few questions like, we'd taken a week off basically while we were in Disney. I thought I would end up posting, and then we just decided we needed a social media break. And then the storm also, we were like, okay, well, probably the best decision anyway. So we really did take a break, and it was so nice. So thank you guys for your patience there. But not only from social media, I don't think I posted it all to YouTube during that time either. So thank you for the break, but thank you for the kind words. A lot of you guys were worried for various reasons, and that was so sweet. But no, we're all good. Just needed a beat. Boy, this liner got thicker and thicker, didn't it? Oh my gosh. Oh well. I was using the Glam palette from Natasha Denona. This lash line color here is amazing. That one there for liner. Love it. Ooh, Jackie asked, top recommendations for food or things to see for those who are visiting Indy. If you are going to be visiting Indy and like being downtown or near downtown, definitely go to Massachusetts Avenue. It's this street that's got all kinds of, it makes me think of like Frenchman Street in New Orleans, where it's like more the locals go there than they do the main area of downtown. But it's got a ton of great restaurants, cute shops. It's just got a lot going for it. And then museum-wise, we actually have a lot you can do. The IMA is a little bit north of downtown. Highly recommend going to their Loom exhibit. I showed some of it in a recent vlog. It is so cool. But the grounds there are beautiful too. Lily Gardens. You can see the Eli Lilly house. Was it Eli Lilly? Why am I doubting who it was? Eli Lilly, like, is one of my friends works for him. It's a ginormous corporation. It's called the Lilly House. Is it Eli Lilly's house? It's like a historical house you can sometimes get tours of, which is just cool there at the IMA or I think it's not called the IMA, which is Indianapolis Museum of Art. I think it's now called Newfields. Anyway, I also would recommend if you have kids, we have like a world-renowned children's museum. You might think, oh, it'll be cool. No, it's even cooler than that. Like our children's museum is unbelievable. Our zoo is so nice and clean and well kept up. So highly recommend the zoo if you have kids, highly recommend the Children's Museum. One of you guys asked, do you have space for new friendship? What an interesting question. So this is actually something we were joking about with our friends because our friend Ben always says, how does he word it? It's always so perfect. Something like, he's like, yeah, I met a neighbor the other day and he was pretty nice and we have a lot of similar interests, but I had to tell him, sorry, buddy, I'm full up on friends. I'm full. Of course he's joking, but I don't know, maybe he's not. No, I feel like I always have space for new friends. I'm always open to it. But one thing that someone mentioned recently, and I've been thinking about a lot and forgive me if I've mentioned this before, but someone recently was saying that new friendship doesn't have to always be elevated to best friendship. Like you don't have to always be working towards getting closer and closer to that person. It can be that you meet people and they are just acquaintances and you see them at school functions, but you don't have to feel that pressure to hang out with them outside of that if you don't feel that pull to do it. And I know for some of you guys are like, yeah, duh, Jess. But some of you guys might know what I mean. Like, I feel like because it is harder to make adult friends, I always feel that pull like, okay, we should probably make this into something. Like, should we hang out? You want to grab a coffee? Do you want to join my book club? Do you want to, you know what I mean? So it's just an interesting thought because there are those people that you meet that you like well enough, but you don't click with on that level. And to try to force that into a deeper friendship than it needs to be is maybe not the best idea. But then you may also be in a situation where you're just like, I'm just desperate for a friend. I'm making this work. And I think that's awesome too. Like, there's no right or wrong answer. But yeah, I feel like I've always got room for that because the reality is a friend doesn't have to be someone that you see all of the time. It can be someone you kind of do life with. Like you could say, hey, do you want to just FaceTime while we fold laundry? Or do you want to grocery shop together? Like cute things like that where you actually could squeeze it in and get something done in your life, but be doing it alongside someone else. And I think that's beautiful too. So I don't know. I wouldn't say that I'm like actively trying to find a bunch of new friends. But I do feel like I go through seasons with that. It just kind of depends. And there's friends of mine that I don't see often, but I still would consider a good friend because when we do see each other, it feels as if no time has been lost. And I think there's some beauty to that too. So what about you guys? How do you feel about the friends in your life? Do you feel like you've got one close friend that even though you maybe don't see them often, you know you could count on them? Do you have a large group of friends? I feel like sometimes when you have a large group of friends, you feel like you're not super close to any one of them. I don't know. Friendships are funny. They're just so interesting, you know? Are you a different parent than you planned to be before you had kids? That's a great question. I think in some ways, of course. I will say this. I remember a time when I could see myself going down the path of being in like the unhappy, always in a bad mood mom. Do you know what I mean? I remember it being a brief period where I could feel myself becoming that, where like every little annoyance would put me in a bad mood. And I really had to kind of have a heart-to-heart with myself and ask myself, like, is that the kind of mom I want to be? Do I want to be the mom that's, you know, when my kids come to me, they're like, mom's always in a bad mood. I'm just going to ask dad, or mom's always tired, or now is mom always tired? Yes, mom is always tired. But do you know what I'm saying? Like, it was a choice I was making to a certain extent. Like, do I still have bad days? Yeah, of course. Like, but you know what I mean? I didn't want that to be my standard operating method. You know what I mean? So I remember, and this was years ago, making that conscious choice to stop being like that. To like, okay, if I feel myself getting like that, just take a breath, Jess. Like none of this is that, most of the time, none of it's that deep. Anyway, so yeah, I do think I'm a different parent in that. Maybe that's not a different. I feel like it's hard to even know. I don't know how much I thought about the kind of a parent I would be. I can definitely sense when I'm veering off of what I want to be as a parent. So like that story, but then also if I feel like it's been a while, like the kind of parent I think I want to be is the kind of teacher I was, which is I liked doing like cool, fun projects and crafts with the kids and like that kind of thing. And that's the kind of mom I wanted to be. And I definitely can be, but when I am having those times when I'm so tired and our schedule has been unrelenting with them and, you know, this, that, and the other, I feel like that is what falls away, is that type of piece of me. And so I'm trying to be better about recognizing like, yeah, you know what? It has been a while since we've done like a craft together. Let's sit down and do that together. You know what I mean? So I don't know if that really answered the question, but I just feel like I can kind of sense in myself when I'm veering off course and I need to course correct. It doesn't mean I'm perfect at it, that's for sure, but you know. Kira Nicole asks, is there a Jessie Day vlog coming soon? They remind me to have a self-care day as a mom. Oh my gosh. No, I didn't have anyone planned, but maybe I'll throw that into November. I would love that. I always tell you guys in those videos, I'll link below my most recent one. You don't have to spend much money, if any money at all, to have a you day. You know what I mean? Like you could bring coffee from home and carry it through the bookstore with you, not buy any books, just take pictures of books you might want to consider reading in the future. You could just window shop. Like you don't really have to spend money to just get out. You could go on a walk through the woods. Like there's just so many ways to do it. Sometimes I will, if I'm doing it, kind of set a budget in my mind. Like, okay, I'm going into TJ Maxx. I'm not spending more than $20 or $50 or whatever it might be that day. That kind of thing where that way you don't feel like you're like, well, I've got the day and like I want to, but I feel like the joy in those days is not necessarily in the buying of things. It really is in just the taking of time to do things that you enjoy alone. Even like going to the library and just people watching or renting a book from the library and reading it there, whatever. I also got a lot of questions asking if we are gonna do Vlogmas this year. We are still in talks. Every year we try to figure out what version of Vlogmas we wanna do. If we wanna do it every day, every other day. Usually it's on Tyler's channel, just because I do other videos right throughout the month here on my channel. So it's been working out to do it over there. So if you want to pre-subscribe, it is Tyler Braun. That's his channel. I'm pretty sure we are. It's just what version of it we're going to do. So we've got a little bit of time to kind of figure that out. But I'm always excited because we do. I mean, that is a straight up tradition for us and we really enjoy it. And if you are new around here, Vlogmas is where for every day December we vlog. And either we post the video every day or it's every other day. But yeah, it's been so fun. So many of you guys know our Christmas traditions. You do them now too, or you make similar cookies that we do and all that stuff. And it's just fun. It's fun, fun, fun. And for the record, it's not all Christmas focus like at all. It's really just regular vlogs. It's just sometimes we're making Christmas cookies too. You know what I mean? So if you feel like I'm not really wanting to watch something Christmassy every day, it's really not what it is. Anyway, all right, we are ready. I didn't actually do my hair today. I washed it, blow dried it, and now it's just got, oh, actually, that does not look terrible. That's just from the clip. I just discovered a new hack. That does not look terrible. It looks a little frizzy, but hey, hey. Anyway, there is something though about, I'm still using that Garnier Apple shampoo and conditioner. I'll link the exact one because I bought the wrong one. I bought the right one the first time, bought the wrong one the second time. It smells so good. But you know when you freshly wash your hair and then you put it into like a bun or a braid or like a clip and then you take it out hours later and your hair smells incredible because it's almost as if it's been like cooking in there, like, you know what I mean? Just holding on to the smell. Love that. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this little coffee chat catch-up sesh. I always enjoy doing this with you guys. Again, thank you to Quince for sponsoring a part of this video. If you want to shop some of the Quince products I mentioned, including some of my cashmere faves, I have everything linked below in the order I mentioned them, as well as in a pinned comment if that's easier for you to find down there. Again, I love that they have free shipping on all orders, no minimum, and they have 365-day returns. So they really stand by their product. I really think you're gonna love whatever you pick out from Quince. Thank you guys so much for watching all the way to the end, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.